Welcome to the Death and Resurrection Show. What's up, guys? Jesse with TooManyFords here. I know it's been a little while since I've made a video or even been out in the shop. I've been sick. I've been sicker than a dog all week. Blood and guts and spit and ass. It's been terrible. And I've been going to work while sick because I refuse to use days off for that kind of stuff. So really haven't made a huge amount of progress on the truck just because I get home from work and I'm dead. But I'm feeling pretty good today. I got some time. So I'm back out here in the shop. We're going to be moving the transmission back on one of the sketchiest setups you're ever likely to encounter, and I'll show you here in a second. But really, I'm hoping today is the day that I finally have the gumption to get the motor out of the truck and on a stand. I want to have at least the heads off of it this week. So I know what we're up against. I know we got at least one bad piston, but I need to see what all we're going to order. My girlfriend and I are going on a cruise at the very end of March. It's February 9th right now. I'd like to have the truck running before we leave, mostly because I want to put the cars back in the shop. Right now, we're living in a winter wonderland out here in southern Idaho. Just fantastic. Oh yeah, look at that, buddy. And what do we have here? No! Both of them are outside. This is painful. So there's the big block Fox. There's the old race car, the gelding. A little bit of a local legend, no big deal. And then the thing. No one cares about the thing. I care about the thing, but I don't have time for the thing. So yeah, let's get back to working on the Powerstroke and get back inside where it's not cold and snowy, out in the snowy snow. So yeah, had to pull the drive shaft on the rear and the carrier bearing, had to pull the front drive shaft off the differential, undid the cross member, took the shifter out, undid a few plugs. I'm leaving the cooling lines connected because I feel like it. I don't want to make more of a mess. I've already destroyed my shop. But we're on the verge. We're right there. So let's get to it. Quick project truck update. While we're here talking about it, I was really hoping to pull the motor without having to do anything with the transmission. It does have to come out, or in my case, I'm trying to push it back as far as it'll go without dropping it out of the truck, because the clutch pack is so thick it won't clear the bell housing. So we've already removed the shifter boot. I very skillfully broke the shifter boot bracket because I'm awesome. But not a huge deal. It's a budget truck, so it can do without a few little things here and there. It's just a fastener, what of it. And then, underneath, oh my God, have we got just a shit show. Front of the transmission being supported by a ratchet strap, pro grade. And then we're trying to shimmy the rest of it out back. We're going to lay a few more ratchet straps in here for safety. We're going to pull that bracket off so that it can hopefully slide back a couple more inches. Don't we all want a couple more inches, boys? Yes, we do. As you can see, there's like another 4 inches of clutch, the actual pressure plate. That's the flywheel. The actual pressure plate is what's holding us up. Once we get the transmission moved back, she's gonna come out and I'm gonna do a dance. Oh, hey girl, look at that. Huh? Huh? Oh, brother. Yeah, it's a little dark right there, but that was our problem. Look at how thick that is. So, with a torque converter, you just gotta deal with the flex plate. With a flywheel and a clutch, that all stays on the engine. Torque converter can stay inside the transmission, don't have to do dick with it. But then you run the risk of having an automatic transmission in your diesel truck. What a shame. So here's the truck, and here's your truck on meth. It's out, y'all. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. The International turbo diesel, 444 cubic inches. Yeah, this thing, I gotta tell you, this motor's just been so well maintained. I am shocked that it was low on compression and didn't want to run. Just don't believe it. So it's out. That was our problem. Not really a problem. It's cool that it's a 6-speed truck, and I like that. But that thing, I had to do a lot more than I was anticipating to get it out because of that. And because of the size of this, and because a lot of diesel motors, the flywheels push back off the block a little bit further than like a gas motor or a traditional gas V8 like Chevy or Ford. I'm probably going to have to pull the flywheel off too, and the clutch, so that I can get the yoke for the engine stand on there. But this is, I'm stoked, man. It's out. Once I figured out the process, it wasn't terrible, but it is sketchy as hell. So there's like 4 ratchet straps, one of the cross members, and a floor jack holding that up. And that's probably a little bit overkill. I don't think these transmissions are crazy heavy. They're just awkward. But I think I only pushed it back maybe 6 or 7 inches. And to do that, I had to disconnect the shifter. I had to disconnect the T-case linkage. I had to undo the actual actuator for the clutch fork right there, which you can see. And I'll get better video of it later. We're going to clean the engine bay up a little bit when we're waiting for parts. But actually, with how much movement I was doing with the transmission, the input shaft is in really good shape. It's not scarred up. The shift fork isn't bent. It's dirty as hell in there. And it's probably going to get a new clutch, which I'm sure there's going to be some people wondering, hey, why didn't you just buy a transmission jack? Why'd you do this hokey poke ratchet strap floor jack? You know, dial into the danger zone and do it this way. The simple answer is, this is a budget truck. I'm trying to get it back on the road reliably, but I don't necessarily want to spend a fortune on random tools and parts for something I'm hopefully only going to do once, and then ideally get a few 100,000 miles out of the long block again. So for what I could have spent, what I would have spent on a floor jack or a transmission jack, one of the smaller short ones for doing it on the floor like this, I'm going to be able to buy a clutch and a new flywheel for the truck. Or I'm going to be able to buy 8 brand new pistons and piston rings, and instead of spending $800 for the transmission jack and new pistons and rings and wrist pins and everything, I'm going to spend $500. You know, it's a little bit of extra hassle. It takes a little bit longer, and yes, it's inconvenient, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't have a huge amount of money to just dump into this truck, because as you'll see further on this year with more videos, I have 2 race series that we're going to do all the way out. Hopefully it's going to be a couple of NHA races in the 2011 Mustang, the GT, a handful of autocrosses this year. I probably won't do enough to win the championship again for Cam C. And then we're going to go do a full season of club racing out at the local drag strip, which is 6 events in a combination of the ladies Fiesta and my Fox Body Mustang with the big block in it. So once we get done with all this, we're going to be doing other things. I got to take the rear end of the Coyote out to one of our shops and have them put a new ring and pinion in it, because the 315 gears and the 6-speed aren't doing it. It's going to go down to Twin Falls and get a performance alignment done by a very reputable guy here in the state. The Fox body's probably going to have to get re-rung, or we're going to at least diagnose why it's smoking so bad. I've got one of the most rev-happy backyard shade tree built big blocks in the world in that car, but it smokes like a mother, and it's not fuel, it's burning oil. So I think that it's probably got some bad rings, so it's been sitting for a while. Common thread out here at my place. But there she is. Let's go see this hokey poke operation. Oh my goodness, what a mess my brain is. But here's the deal, it worked, didn't it? I may need someone to help me get it back in the truck, but this will actually probably make it a little bit easier. We'll set the motor down on the engine stands, and then as you do, we'll use the dowel pins off of that to line the transmission up, and jack it up into place, put the tranny bolts in through the bell housing, get all the cross members lined up, And then it's just reconnecting this mess. We're gonna have to go through, there's a couple of parts and bits on here that are pretty nasty. When I got it, the ICP connection was done, full of oil and breaking apart, brittle. So I already went to the junkyard and snagged a few extra leads on the loom. But for right now, I'm going to get the clutch and flywheel off of this thing, get it stuck on that engine stand, and then in the next video, we're going to go and tear the heads off of it, see what's wrong. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Be kind, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to. Let me know how dumb I am for pulling the transmission back like that. I'll take my lashes. But until next time, this is Jesse with TooManyFords and the Death and Resurrection Show.